Jack Smith under investigation. Trump's former prosecutor faces Hatch Act probe. Here's something that will make your head spin. The very agency designed to keep government officials honest is now targeting the prosecutor who dared to investigate a former president. The Office of Special Counsel has opened an investigation into Jack Smith, the former special counsel who spearheaded the unprecedented criminal investigations against President Donald Trump. Smith's probes focused on Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents and his purported attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. But here's where it gets controversial. This investigation into potential Hatch Act violations is unfolding precisely as Trump and his political allies are actively pursuing what many describe as a revenge campaign against their perceived enemies and those who dared to challenge them legally. So what exactly is the Hatch Act, and why should you care? Think of it as the rulebook that's supposed to prevent government employees from mixing their official duties with partisan politics. The Hatch Act essentially creates a firewall between federal work and political campaigning, ensuring that taxpayer-funded government operations don't become tools for influencing elections or advancing partisan agendas. This regulation covers not just federal employees, but also extends to state and local workers whose programs receive The agency's primary responsibilities include investigating allegations of whistleblower retaliation and violations of the Hatch Act, making this investigation particularly intriguing given the current political climate. Neither Smith's representatives nor the White House have responded to requests for comment, while the New York Post initially broke this developing story. To put this in perspective, let's look at recent history. Back in 2021, investigators determined that 13 officials from Trump's first presidential term had violated the Hatch Act, including former advisor Kellyanne Conway, whom the Office of Special Counsel had previously recommended for removal from her position. Even Biden's press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, received an official warning letter in 2023 for Hatch Act violations after using the politically charged phrase "mega MAGA" during a White House briefing. But here's what's really important to understand. Hatch Act violations aren't criminal offenses. They're workplace infractions. The consequences can range from minor reprimands to job termination, depending on the severity and circumstances. Smith has already departed from federal government service, having resigned from the Justice Department earlier this year. This resignation came months after he officially dismissed both the classified documents case and the election interference case following Trump's 2024 electoral victory. Smith's 2-year investigation represented a historic moment in American politics, marking the first instance where a former president faced federal criminal charges. The significance of this precedent cannot be overstated. Trump and his supporters consistently condemned Smith's investigations, characterizing them as a dangerous weaponization of federal law enforcement agencies. Trump had publicly promised to terminate Smith immediately upon returning to office, a pledge that would have shattered long-standing traditions surrounding the independence of special counsel investigations. And this is the part that's generating the most heated debate. The current investigation stems from claims made by Trump ally Senator Tom Cotton earlier this week. Cotton alleged that Smith exploited his Department of Justice position to influence the election in favor of both Biden's and Vice President Kamala Harris's campaigns. Cotton specifically pointed to Smith's decision to file a legal brief within 60 days of Election Day, potentially violating a separate Justice Department guideline that extends beyond standard Hatch Act requirements. Richard Painter, who served as the chief ethics attorney during the George W. Bush administration, expressed skepticism about these allegations in his conversation with reporters. "I have never witnessed a prosecutor being found in violation of the Hatch Act simply for making court filings, Painter stated. Painter, who currently teaches law at the University of Minnesota, elaborated on this point. If Jack Smith had been making public announcements or issuing press releases close to the election, that would require extreme caution on his part. However, this was an ongoing case that had been active since summer 2023, and I don't believe his continuation of the case through standard court filings constitutes a Hatch Act violation. The exact nature of what the Office of Special Counsel is investigating as a potential Hatch Act violation remains unclear, adding another layer of mystery to this unfolding situation. Painter also raised serious questions about the agency's independence under the current Trump administration. Earlier this year, Trump dismissed Hampton Dellinger, who had been appointed by Biden, and selected U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer to serve as the interim director. Trump's official nominee for the permanent position, Paul Ingrassia, is currently awaiting Senate confirmation. When you have a political appointee in charge, they're naturally going to follow the president's wishes. So the agency isn't truly functioning as an independent entity. Painter explained during his interview. So here's the million-dollar question that's dividing political observers. Is this investigation a legitimate oversight action designed to ensure government officials follow proper protocols? Or is it part of a broader pattern of political retaliation against those who challenge Trump's actions? What do you think? Are we witnessing the normal functioning of government accountability mechanisms, or are we seeing the weaponization of federal agencies for political revenge? The answer might depend entirely on your political perspective. And that's exactly what makes this story so controversial and significant for the future of American democracy. Does this investigation represent justice finally being served? Or does it signal a dangerous precedent where political opponents use government machinery to settle scores? Share your thoughts, because this debate is far from over. Investigation into Jack Smith. What you need to know. Political firestorm erupts. Jack Smith faces unprecedented scrutiny in high-stakes investigation. In a dramatic turn of events that's sending shockwaves through Washington, federal investigators have launched a comprehensive probe into former special counsel Jack Smith, targeting his handling of investigations against former President Donald Trump. But here's where it gets controversial. The investigation stems from explosive allegations of potential political misconduct that could reshape the 2024 election landscape. The U.S. Office of Special Counsel, OSC, a fiercely independent federal agency, has confirmed it's meticulously examining Smith's actions for potential violations of the Hatch Act, a critical legal framework designed to prevent government employees from engaging in partisan political activities. While Trump and his Republican allies have been vocal about alleged improprieties, they've conspicuously failed to produce concrete evidence of wrongdoing. Let's break down what makes this investigation so compelling. Unlike the special counsel's office Smith previously led, the OSC operates with a unique mandate. They can't file criminal charges, but they wield significant power, potentially recommending disciplinary actions ranging from workforce,